Hey friends, what's up? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today, I've got 10 different fragrances that'll help you smell like a real man. That's right, just like a full-grown man, no longer a boy. You can smell like The Rock, John Wayne, Clint Eastwood. But yes, each one of these will have you smelling like a real man. So let's jump into it. Let's check them out. I feel like before we get started, I have to do some sort of PSA. No, there is not actually a fragrance that's going to have you smell like a real man. Depending on who you ask, some people would say, well, a real man doesn't wear a fragrance. Or another person might say, well, a real man wears whatever they want to wear. And that's what makes them real. And I would say, yeah, just wear whatever you want. For sure, actually. So yeah, PSA over. You know what? It's not over, though. The code GENTS10 at twistedlily.com. or maxaroma.com. Use that code anytime you shop either of those sites. It'll save you 10% off your order. Don't pay full price. Don't be a Momo. All right, let's do it. First fragrance. This one is from Paco Rabanne, and it is XS. Yeah, XS. I actually just really wanted to feature this fragrance. It's one that I like a bunch. Doesn't really get talked about anymore. This is the re-release, the relaunch, if you want to call it that. Came out 2018. I think this version, which is the same as the older version, just put into the new bottle style, which I like. I actually think that this new bottle style does look better than the old one. As mint, citrus, juniper, and rosemary is some of the notes in the fragrance, and it smells quite similar to Himalaya by the House of Creed. So basically, if you wanted something that smells like Himalaya, but you don't want to pay quite as much money, you could get XS and it will do just as good a job. Very clean, fresh, a little bit metallic. It's a great gentlemanly fragrance that doesn't smell dated, old, used up. Still smells modern enough to pull off. I think XS, really nice. Definitely overlooked. Because when you look at the lineup of Paco Rabanne fragrances nowadays, nobody's talking XS. And, you know, honestly, nobody's talking Paco Pour Homme either. This one is not officially in this list, but I guess now it is. Just flying by the seat of my pants here. Paco Rabanne Pour Homme, check that one out too. Next up, Sauvage Elixir from the good old Christian Dior. Can't do without Sauvage Elixir here. I recently ran a tournament on my channel to determine the best fragrance release of 2021, and I knew that this one was probably gonna win, but I was like, maybe, you know, when we put it up to a vote, put it up against some of the other really heavy hitters from 2021, maybe it won't win. Yeah, it won. But Sauvage Elixir is fantastic. So I'm not going to argue with you guys about that. Absolutely, this is one of the best releases of 2021, one of the best flankers of ever. Cinnamon, lavender, licorice, and sandalwood, some of the notes in this scent. It's another one that is just very masculine and sophisticated. A little bit mature, but I think younger guys with confidence can pull it off as well. Quality is there, the performance is there. It has a little throwback style to it, you know, hearkening back to the days of the 70s and 80s. I love Sauvage Elixir. Great scent. Now a fragrance that I like that a lot of you out there don't, but I'm gonna put it in this list anyway because I think it deserves it. It's Dolce & Gabbana's Pour Homme Intenso. Lavender, tobacco, some aromatics in there, some woods, a little bit of musk, some sweetness as well. I thought this is just one of those fragrances that makes you smell like a man. It's clean, but not like soapy shower gel clean. More this refined, again, slightly aromatic clean. And I always thought it was really good. The performance is okay. It's not amazing, but for this type of scent, I think it works. I think a lot of people were kind of unhappy with the name, you know, Intenso. They were thinking it was gonna be just this powerhouse, this monstrous beast. And when they got it, it was more average as far as performance goes. I've always liked this. I've always thought this smelled great. I've gotten good reactions while wearing this. So I think it's a really nice masculine scent, completely overlooked. Let's keep it classy. Platinum Egoist from Chanel. Lavender, rosemary, geranium, oak moss, vetiver, some of the notes to the fragrance. This one is another one of those classy, slightly metallic smelling men's fragrances. Perfect for an office, perfect for a man who enjoys business. I guess you would call that a businessman. This one is a lovely fragrance from Chanel, but really most men's fragrances from Chanel are lovely. This is like kind of a funny way to say it. Chanel, they're lovely, beautiful, what can I say? And then we gotta talk about this guy, Drakkar Intense from Guy Laroche. Now, part of me really wants to put Drakkar Noir in here just because Drakkar Noir but that's just not fair because and I know, and we all know that Drakkar Noir is probably definitely the best thing that's ever been made as far as having a scent. Olfactive pleasure. Enough Drakkar Noir. Drakkar Intense is what we're featuring here today. Has the same very cheap looking presentation as Drakkar Noir. The cap, horrible. The atomizer, horrible. So ugly. But how's it smell? It actually smells really good, especially through the mid. I get some warm spiciness in the mid here that just really does it for me. It's got a nice sweetness to it as well. Not like sugary sweet, like almost slightly boozy sweet. It has patchouli, moss, lavender, and suede as some of the official notes in the fragrance. Some people find this similar to Azzaro Pour Homme Intense, which I also think is a great scent. This one, very inexpensive from discounters. I wish it had a little more push to it for me myself, but outside that, wonderful fragrance. Now, let's talk about a gentleman fragrance, but not gentleman eau de parfum or one of those. No, we're talking about gentlemen only, which the house just basically doesn't care about. It's all about the gentleman now, not the gentlemen. This is really good though. As far as a casual day-to-day fragrance, this stuff is top notch. Maybe not the most overly unique thing you've ever smelled. As far as being a gentlemanly fragrance that has blue versatility to it, blue fragrance versatility, this stuff does. Vetiver, incense, pink pepper, birch, mandarin orange, some of the notes in the fragrance. So you're gonna get that little bit of citrus off the top. You're gonna get some smokiness, gives you more usability in cool weather. And just overall, as a day-to-day scent, top notch. Now we have to work one of these in here, okay? You have to, in my opinion. It's from Hermes, it's Terre d'Hermes, Eau Intense Vetiver. Now you could put the original in here, you could put the Pure Parfum in here, you could put this one in here. I mean, you could even say like Eau Très Fraîche or something. But I feel like if you're talking about fragrances for men, Terre d'Hermes got to be in there. And yes, not everybody loves vetiver. I do, but I know a lot of people don't. But if you're talking about like some of the more quintessential masculine fragrances out there, a number of those are going to feature vetiver prominently, or at least have it in there. This one has citrus, it has Sichuan pepper, it has, of course, vetiver in it. It's not as earthy, not as flinty as the original Terre d'Hermes. So for some people, that's going to make this one a little bit more appealing. Still has that woodiness, the vetiver coming across in quite a woody way. Very classy, I would say even elegant. Eau Intense Vetiver, a great vetiver fragrance, but not the only vetiver fragrance in this list because I got a couple more. One of those is Dunhill Icon. Now, to be fair, this is not as much of a vetiver fragrance as the Terre d'Hermes is, but it does have vetiver in there. Also has neroli, has black pepper, bergamot, lavender as well. And it's a scent that ever since it came out, people have basically said is one of the best classy masculine fragrances that you can get on a budget that still has great quality, great performance. And I agree with that, absolutely. Bottle's very heavy in the hand, looks very nice. The fragrance smells good and lasts a long time. And from discounters, very affordable. I especially like the opening here. I think that the neroli gives it a nice freshness, little sweetness, and has a clean sort of pop initially. And then as it dries down, it leads you into those more typically masculine notes. And then this one, also vetiver based, and this is more vetiver than the Dunhill is. It's XX Artisan from Barbados. And like the Terre d'Hermes, this also has Sichuan pepper. So they both have that pepper and vetiver in it. This has bitter orange off the top, so a little bit of a different feeling in the opening with the citrus here as compared to most other fragrances. Not going to be as heavy on the sweetness. And then cedar giving some additional woodiness as it dries down. Unfortunately, most Barbados fragrances coming out nowadays are not quite as popular as they used to be. I think they kind of peaked with like XX Artisan. A lot of people were really hyped about that. Barbados Vintage, a lot of people like. The Dark Rebel fragrances have a certain number of people that really like those as well. But the ones that have come out here lately, I mean, it's not like everybody hates them. It's just they haven't really taken off in a huge way. But this one especially, I like a lot. I think that this is one of those vetiver fragrances that you can pull off in just about any situation, has a good amount of class to it. And as I said, with the bitter orange in the opening, I think it's pretty interesting when you first spray it on as well. And the bottle looks slick. Like, it looks really cool. And I believe that one has finally popped up at Discounter, so it's a little more affordable now. And overall, I think if you like vetiver scents, you should check it out. Now, technically, this is a list of 10, but I have 2 more to go, so we're doing 11. And that's because I have to feature this one as kind of a bonus. And it's, Coros. Now, I didn't feature Antaeus, and that's because I already had Platinum Egoist in here, and I knew I was going to feature Coros, but Antaeus and Coros to me are kind of like buddies. They hang out together. They do things together. They go places together. So this has civet and honey. It has leather. It has aldehydes. It has carnation. Don't see that note very often anymore. Used to see carnation in a lot of men's fragrances back in the day, but it has made an unceremonious exit. So Coros is one of those fragrances that will forever be held up by some people as one of the pinnacles of men's perfumery. Then you'll have other people who say, oh my God, what is that smell? Get it away from me, please. Where do I fall? I actually kind of like it. Yeah, I'm weird, I guess. I mean, certainly, as an old school feel to it, the muskiness, that aldehydic feel that it has is strong. It is strong. But in a sense, it's also kind of soapy and clean and also animalic and dirty. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but when you smell it, you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. I like Coros. Is it easy to pull off nowadays? No. Out of everything here, easily, it's the most difficult one to pull off. But if you like fragrances that are old school, you gotta know it. So then I guess the last official one is this one, Bentley for Men Absolute. Cedar, olibanum, papyrus, and oud, some of the notes in the fragrance. It's not as cheap at Discounters as it used to be, but for the quality of the fragrance, it's still a pretty good deal. And this one smells similar to Gucci Pour Homme, which is discontinued and much, much more expensive than this. So if you like Gucci Pour Homme, or you liked Gucci Pour Homme, and you're thinking, man, I wish I could get something that's not too expensive that smells similar to that, then that's what this is. Get it. Very rich, woody, and smoky. It's a great masculine fragrance. And I think that overall, at least in my opinion, Bentley for Men Absolute is a little bit easier to wear for most people than Bentley for Men Intense, even though Bentley for Men Intense is the one that is the hype monster. That one's really good too, though. Not for everybody, but for me it is. So there we go, 10 fragrances that'll help you smell like a real man. Although, you know, part of me thinks that wearing Moschino Toy Boy is somehow in a way like more manly. I don't know. Take more confidence maybe to pull that one off. All right, that'll do it for me. Thank you for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow in another fragrance video. See you guys later.